Hey everyone, many people know a lot of English words, but a very few people know how to articulate their ideas smoothly. A very few people know how to connect their ideas smoothly. That is why their English sounds broken, too simple, or robotic. That is why I am going to show you the most commonly used connectors that will help your speech sound more natural plus easy to understand for people. So let's get started and talk about all the connectors that I used personally to articulate my thoughts in the best manner possible. So before I talk about connectors, let me talk about the importance of using connectors while speaking in English. If you use connectors while speaking in this language, people are going to understand you well, and your English will be very easy for people to understand, and you will sound clear and natural. But when you speak English without using connectors, your English will sound broken. Let's take an example for that. I woke up late, I missed the bus, I was angry. And the same sentences I am going to speak using connectors. I woke up late, so I missed the bus, and because of that I was angry. You saw the difference? There is a huge difference. The second time I spoke these sentences, you are able to understand me well, and you are able to understand the context well. This is what happens when you use connectors. Your English will sound natural and more clear for people to understand. Now I hope you understood the power of using connectors while speaking in English. Using connectors makes your English natural and easy for people to understand. So it becomes very important for you to use connectors while speaking in English if you want your English sound more natural plus easy for people to understand. Now I am going to teach you 4 connectors here that will help you connect ideas smoothly. The first connector is and. Yes, you had it right. And is a connector that connects your ideas, one idea to another idea. Let's take an example. I make YouTube videos and I also run a coaching center. Here and is connecting one idea to another. Now let's talk about the second connector. The second connector is but. Let's take the same example using this connector. I make videos, but I also run a coaching center. I connected one idea to another idea. Then let me talk about the third connector. The third connector is not only but I also. Let's take an example. I not only make videos on YouTube, but I also run a agency. Here you saw I connect the second idea using but and also. Now I am going to talk about the fourth connector, that is besides or apart from. These are the connectors that convey the same meaning. Let's take an example. Apart from making videos on YouTube, I run a coaching center. Or besides running a coaching center, I make videos on YouTube. These are some of the very important connectors that you should be using on a daily basis to sound more natural and clear and easy for people to understand. Now I hope you understood how to connect your ideas smoothly using the connectors that I talked about. Now I am going to teach you how to give reasons and what connectors to use when giving reasons. There are 3 connectors that I used personally when giving reasons. I am going to teach you. The first one that I used is I use because. Let's take an example. I speak English because I practiced this language a lot. I practiced English a lot. That is why I spoke this language. That is why I learned to articulate my thoughts. And there is one more connector, since. Since I practiced English almost every single day, I became able to articulate my thoughts very well in this language. Here are the 3 connectors that you should be always using when giving reasons. Like I gave a lot of reasons. Like I gave reasons that I practiced a lot. That is why I became fluent. I practiced a lot, and because of that I became fluent in English. Since I practiced a lot, I became fluent in English. Now I hope you learned what connectors to use when giving reasons. Now I want to teach you what connectors to use when talking about the result. So you can use 3 connectors that I personally use. The first is so. I practiced English a lot, so I became fluent in English. So here is a connector that is telling the result. So, and here is one more connector. As a result, I practiced English a lot, and as a result, I became a fluent speaker in English. Here is one more connector that I don't seem to be using a lot. The connector is therefore. You can use therefore in the place of as a result. I practiced English a lot, therefore I became a fluent speaker in English. So these were some connectors that I used almost every single day when I speak in English to sound more natural and clear and easy for people to understand. I'm going to make one more video on connectors, so make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel, because you never miss an update if you do so.